Greetings. You are listening to the Midnight Radio with your host, me, Peculio Julio. I'm here to talk to you today about the new Alien movie, Alien Romulus. Okay, so I saw this movie at its opening weekend here in London in Leicester Square, and I saw it at the 4DX experience, which is really good. If you've never been there, highly recommended. It gives you sort of moving chairs, weather effects, wind, rain. It's like being at some kind of theme park ride back in the Universal Studios, kind of the Terminator ride or something like that. It's really, really fun. Perfect for a movie like this. Perfect for a good popcorn movie just like this. Look, I've been waiting for the Alien movies to return for quite some time. I think everybody has. And I had high hopes for Alien Romulus. I think it, with the director, Fede Alvarez, I liked his stuff, for the most part, Don't Breathe. And also, what's the other movie that he did? It was the Evil Dead. And look, and both of those movies have some really good moments. I think they both kind of suffer from a lack of character, a lack of character development, something that you want to actually, you want to root for these people. I mean, I think at Don't Breathe, I think for the most part, you're rooting for the old dude just to mess them up because you're like, yeah. And then obviously it gets a little bit, kind of let's get the turkey baster out later on into the movie, which kind of changes things. And look, Evil Dead, from what I can remember of it, I watched it at theatre when it came out, was like super gory. There were some great moments where I can remember one of the Deadites, she licks the razor blade and it splits her tongue in two, which I was like, that is so cool. I think the new Evil Dead that was released recently, I think it's better. I think it had more character again. So look, going into Romulus, I had high hopes. I could see that they were doing a lot of things practically, which I was like, that's fantastic. Let's get on that. Looking to bring back the horror element and the kind of real spooky corridors, sirens going off, strobe lighting going off. And for the most part, Romulus did that, and it was great. And they did it well. There's a whole scene sort of beginning of the movie with the facehuggers, and it showed you up close with the facehuggers for the first time in terms of their little proboscis that they try and stick down your throat. That was really creepy to see, and there's a moment where one of the characters has it removed, and it kind of shows you for the first time just how deep in that little tube goes. And I thought that was a really I want to see new stuff when I'm watching a movie of any kind, especially if it's a franchise movie. I want to see some new stuff. Show me stuff that I've an angle or a way of seeing it that I might not have seen it before. And I think Alien Romulus did a few little moments like that. I'll try to keep this review relatively spoiler free. I know that the movie hasn't been out for that long. There's some good elements. There's one particular moment in it that I was like, oh shit, okay, I've not seen that before. That's actually pretty cool, and it's a good way to sort of get around the issues of how you actually kill the aliens when you're in space. And I thought that played out well, especially, I think the alien practical effects were really good. It brought back the horror element, the spooky element, which I really enjoyed. But I do think that the movie still lacked character. I know this whole trope of using, the final girl, the last girl standing against the aliens is cool. Yeah, great. I dig it. But at the end of the day, I know we could change it up. I think it took a leaf out of Alien 3's book by having random British, you what? There's something in the water, kind of blokes in it. Kind of early 20s characters. I don't know. I didn't really get any of their motivation or what they actually cared about or what they were actually just, what drives these guys, what gets them going. The android in the movie, for the most part, does a good job. He doesn't really bring it to the level of you have from Ian Holm, who makes a really, really bad. I'm sorry, I am going into spoilers mode now, but there's a really, really bad CGI AI generated version of his face that I'm like, why? Like, you could just, I think Commode said it, where you could be like, you could just use a mask, like a melted mask, and I think that would be better. Um, yeah, he's in it loads as well, and every time he kind of showed up on screen, people kind of smiled and kind of had like a few giggles and stuff in the cinema, which is like, it's not a good sign when people are giggling at it. But look, I mean, at the end of the day, it brought back some good elements, some good horror, some good spookiness. Definitely go see it in the movies. I think the way that I saw it in the 4DX experience really added to it, because I felt like I was in that ship in the Romulus, getting drooled on, getting wind splashed into my face, the moving seats, like the ending, the whole ending is a bit Alien Resurrection, but the ending was much better than the fact that I could be rumbled around like I was dangling from the metal cable. I liked it. I didn't think it was great. I think obviously it's definitely not an Alien. It's definitely not an Aliens. It's not even really an Aliens 3. I think it sits under there with the Prometheus and Covenant side of things. Well, there we go. Until next time.